When it comes to primary source content documenting marginalized communities, you would be hard-pressed to come up with a more useful source than zines and zine making. However, the amorphous nature of the medium presents a number of issues when taken from its original context and rehoused to a formal archival or library setting. Admittedly, the perception of zines as primary source content is fairly new. One must look back only 30 years to see zines, criticized for sloppy production values and dubious credibility, seen as a nuisance and including content that may be sexually explicit, politically revolutionary, or blatantly antisocial, aka untouchable. Berthoud explains, zines will challenge all kinds of established policies and practices librarians rely on in their professional life, from Library of Congress subject headings to how they handle acquisitions to what they thought were relevant fields for serials cataloging. To begin with, though, what is a zine? Zines have been described as non-commercial, small circulation publications, produced and distributed by their creators. Communities like the Riot Girls of the 1990s, LGBTQ, and people of color have utilized zines to speak about their identity, making directly personal works which serve as first-hand accounts, but also as allegory. Zines are created by people who live on the fringe of the mainstream. They are often created as purposefully radical acts to see how many free copies can be lifted, or how little you can give a zine away for. Zines strike at the heart of a punk rock ethos. Images and texts are often stolen or repurposed without legal consideration. Authors, publishers, and consumers blur, as individuals within the community are often all three at the same time. When considering access points in terms of zines, it is important to note the importance of the community aspect in zine making. Underserved communities will be searching for zines in unique vernaculars. For instance, as Milo from QZAP relates, they'll be trying to find the I'm in a relationship that is the same sex or same gendered, but also we're having a kid. Or, we're putting out zines and we're in this small town in West Virginia. I'm a Tejana queer boy in Dallas, Texas, and I'm putting out a zine about cruising in the bathrooms and being brown and being Spanish, speaking in fucking Texas. Different experiences. A knowledge of the community's vocabulary and slang helps maintain authenticity in these records. This will aid zine readers in finding the material they are looking for. Zines require original cataloging, which takes time, a scarcity in libraries. However, leaders in the zine community have developed an unlibrary conference wherein they have proposed a standard called Zine Core, based on Dublin Core, and a union catalog which assigns a number to each zine for purposes of cross-referencing between libraries. This may serve to cultivate a more efficient and attractive method for the library traditionalists and unbelievers. Zine Core utilizes title, creator, subject genre, publisher, date of publication, physical description, and language. Many readers will search for particular authors just as they would in any medium, but this proves more difficult in zines as author and artist names are likely to change, sometimes even within the same zine. As such, authority records are difficult to create, and thesauri become extremely important. Author N. See also is a much more efficient manner of grouping zines written by one person under many pseudonyms. Bartel suggests that selecting headings which regularly pertain to a serial zine and sticking to that one may be more efficient than trying to fit the square peg Library of Congress to the round hole zine scene, since zine authors are prone to mercurial content and developing work which falls into multiple categories. It proves best to select one primary subject designation, carefully selected secondary headings, and thorough descriptions. Many libraries still use Library of Congress subject headings even for their zines, however. The Zine Core headings are based on the Anchor Archive subject thesaurus, and that provides a range of approximately 1,200 zine headings, more specifically used in the zine culture. Dates prove to be very difficult, as many serials do not come out regularly, or they may not be labeled even if they do. Zines come in several standard sizes and can be described using Larry Bob Roberts' list of zine codes from Queer Zine Explosion. Language becomes necessary when patrons are looking for specific languages in which they read. You may be looking for more or less in your records, depending. The size of collections may affect this. The number of different languages, the number of different classifications. Zine Core is still in its infancy, but at least it's a start.